Welcome to my channel. My name is Rhea, and in this video we are going to go over a sample diet plan. And this topic has been very requested, and that's why I'm putting up a sample diet plan. But before we begin, I do want to say that everyone has different nutritional needs, different nutritional requirements. So this is just a sample. If you're someone who's very active, who's an athlete, who's suffering from a health problem, who's just given birth and is breastfeeding, this is not for you, right? So this is just a sample outline of what a diet plan can look like. So let's get started. But before we get into the diet plan, I do want to put something out there, and that is that I have seen a lot of women especially eat 1200 calorie, 1000 calorie, 800 calorie diet plans in order to lose weight. And I just want to say that this is not one of those, right? This is a 1600 calorie diet plan, and this is for women. So if you're a man and you're watching this, you're going to have to up your calories, maybe get it up to at least 1800, 2000, right? And if you're taller, if you're bigger built, then even much more than that. So this is a 1600 to 1700 calorie diet plan. It is not a 1200 calorie diet, and there is a reason why this is not a 1200 calorie diet plan. And the reason is that such low calories are often very detrimental. They're detrimental to our health and well-being, right? Extremely low calorie diets like 800 calories, 1000 calories, 1200 calories can cause a lot of issues. They can cause hair loss, they can cause skin issues, they can cause brittle nails. So our skin health, hair health, nail health, all of this can suffer with very low calories. The second reason why we should not do such low calorie diets is because they are not sustainable, right? We might lose the weight in 4 weeks, 8 weeks, but since this plan is not sustainable, we will end up eating more, right? And what happens is when we eat such less calories, our metabolism slows down. So when our metabolism slows down and when we start eating after we've lost the weight, we can regain it at a much faster pace, right? We've heard of the term yo-yo dieting, right? Weight loss, weight gain, weight loss, more weight gain. So we don't want to get into that cycle, right? We don't want to get into an unsustainable diet cycle. And extremely low calorie diets, 800 calorie diets, 1200 calorie diets, 1000 calorie diets are unsustainable in the long run, leading to a slower metabolism, leading to weight regain. The next reason is that very low calories can interfere with our hormones. This is especially true in young girls, right? Young girls who eat extremely less calories tend to suffer from hormonal issues, but generally speaking, across the board, very less calories do interfere with our hormones. And a lot of young girls I have seen in my experience do couple very low calories with extremely intense exercise. So that is something that is not sustainable. That is something that can lead to health problems and especially hormonal issues. The next reason why one should not do extremely low calories is because it can cause extremely low energy. We need energy to function. We need energy to go about our day, to work, to clean, to cook, to whatever it is we do. And without that energy, we'll just be doing nothing. And that makes dieting seem like a very difficult thing, right? So we want to eat enough so that we can maintain our energy levels, right? And the last reason that I want to touch upon is that very low calories, very low food intake can also cause mood problems, can also lead to low mood. And the last thing we want is to feel low, feel lack of energy when we are trying to do something healthy for ourselves, right? So that's the reason why we should not go for those 800, 1000, 1200 calorie diet plans that may lead to weight loss over 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, but eventually will cause health problems and are not sustainable. Now, the next point I want to touch upon before we get into the sample diet plan is that a lot of people do ask me, okay, if I can lose weight via diet, why should I exercise, right? So there's this battle between diet and exercise, and a lot of people say, I exercise so I can eat everything. or I can eat as much. It's okay to eat everything. It's not okay to discount your diet just because you exercise, right? So exercise and diet are two pillars of the foundation of health. What the two important pillars. Then we have sleep, then we have stress, then we have rest. There are many pillars, but the two most important ones are diet and exercise, right? So the reason why we should exercise, although we can lose weight with diet, is one, it will help us maintain our bodies, our muscle and our bones. A lot of people, when they lose weight, especially with the very low calorie diets, do tell me that now they've become loose, right? They've lost the weight, but everything is loose, everything is skinny. They say it's skinny fat, right? They've shrunk in size, but there's no definition to their bodies, there's no tone, and that's because we need exercise to maintain that toned look, right? That toned look that women want, that comes with weight training, that comes with strength training, that comes with body weight exercises. So in order to lose weight and maintain that toned, chiseled look, exercise is important. Otherwise, you might shrink in size, but the toned look that you're after, that won't come. So that's the first reason. Also, exercise in the long run will help you maintain your muscle mass and your bone density, both of which decline with age, right? And it's important to maintain that, because as we age, it's important that we walk, it's important that we are able to do things, pick things up, do everything, right? And that comes with bone density and muscle mass. So exercise, especially strength training, especially toning exercises, body weight exercises, they help maintain that toned look while losing weight. So how many times a week can one do toning workouts, body weight workouts, strength training workouts? I would say at least 2 to 3 times a week, right? Even a 20-minute session of strength training or toning workouts is good enough, right? And I do have an exercise channel where there are some toning workouts. So if you're interested, you can check that out. The link is in the description box below. Now, along with toning, strength training, body weight exercises, cardio is also important. Right now, cardio can be something as simple as going for a 20-minute walk in the morning. And if you're doing that, I would recommend doing that 20-minute walk on an empty stomach. If you're looking for something more intense, cardio can be something like jogging or going for a little run. Again, 15 to 20 minutes on an empty stomach is what I find works for most people. Of course, you're going to have to find out what works for you. Now, if you want something more intense, if you're not able to step out of the house, then I do have cardio workouts on my channel, primarily jumping, but each exercise has a no jumping option, so you can check those out if you're interested. And cardio is something you can do maybe 3 to 5 times a week. If you're walking in the morning for 20 minutes, that's something you can do almost every day, if not 5 times a week. If you're choosing to go for a 20-minute jog or a run, you can drop that down to 3 times a week. If you're choosing to do cardio in the form of HIIT, high intensity interval training, you can do that maybe 2 to 3 times a week. So a combination of strength training and cardio will help with the weight loss, right? And especially the toning, strength training will help maintain that toned look, right? And it will help us avoid the look where we've lost the weight but we still don't look the way we want to, right? So exercise is important. Now let's talk about the sample diet plan, right? So first I will talk about the non-vegetarian plan, and then I will go over the vegan and vegetarian plan. And this is 1600 to 1700 calories, right? And if you are a man, you're gonna have to up the calories by a little bit. So for breakfast, you can start with maybe 3 to 4 egg whites, right? Egg whites are a great source of protein. 20 to 30 grams of oatmeal. I would recommend about 30 grams weighed raw. And before we move on, it is best to invest in a food weighing scale and measurement spoons, because that makes it very easy to measure everything out and get the quantities we want, right? So 3 to 4 egg whites, good source of protein. 30 grams of oatmeal weighed raw, made in water, not milk, right? And you can have a piece of fruit with this. You can do 1 apple, 1 orange, or about 100-150 grams of chopped strawberries with your oatmeal. If you're somebody who likes sweets, right, I would recommend not adding sugar and replacing that with a sweetener if you need your sweet fix. So that's, say you have breakfast at 8 a.m. This is just an example. So that's the breakfast. Then we move on to the snack, right? Say at 11 a.m. you can have a handful of nuts, 20 grams to 30 grams. This can be almonds, this can be walnuts, this can be cashews, right? And you can couple this with a cup of black coffee or green tea or regular tea as well. And if you need milk, I would recommend adding 1 or 2 spoons, not more. And if you need the sweet taste, I would recommend in a sweetener. So that's say about 11 a.m. Then say you break your lunch at about 2 p.m. Right, so lunch is about 200 grams of chicken or fish or meat or whatever it is that you prefer, lean meat, right, lean chicken. And 200 grams, if you don't have a weighing scale yet, if you want an estimation, it's about the palm of your hand, right? That's about 200 grams of chicken, again, weighed raw. Along with this, you can have about 30 grams of brown rice, right? Or you can have 30 grams of quinoa, you can have 30 grams of lentils or millets, right? Along with this, you can have some vegetables. And all vegetables are okay. What's not okay? Potatoes and sweet potatoes or any kind of tubers. So it's best to avoid those as a vegetable. If you want to have your tubers, you can have a vegetable, you can have your chicken, and you can have, say, a sweet potato, right? Replace the brown rice with the sweet potato. So that's a lunch option. Now you can vary this up. You can make different kinds of chicken, different flavors. You can vary up the way you make your rice, sometimes plain, sometimes with a little bit of seasoning. So you can play with these ingredients to come up with something different every day. And I would recommend using about 5 grams of olive oil or ghee. Ghee is clarified butter to cook this food, right? So that's lunch. Now moving on to the next thing. So if you've had your lunch at 2 p.m. and then you want to have your next snack at about 4:35 p.m., you can have about 100 to 150 grams of Greek yogurt, right? Greek yogurt is when you drain the water from yogurt. So we make yogurt and then we hang it, right? And the water drains out. So the Greek yogurt is higher in protein and lower in sugar than regular yogurt. So 100-150 grams of Greek yogurt or a protein shake if you don't consume dairy, right? With this, you can have 1 piece of fruit. This can be an apple, this can be an orange, this can be Greek yogurt with 100 grams of strawberries. So that's your pick. Along with this, you can have your green tea, black coffee, regular tea, less milk. Sweetener is okay if you need it. I would recommend going clean and not having so many sweeteners, but it's okay once in a while to indulge. And for dinner, it's the same thing as lunch, right? So 200 grams of chicken or lean meats or fish or whatever it is you prefer, along with maybe some brown rice or some lentil soup or some millets or quinoa salad. Again, 30 grams weighed raw. Along with this, you can have some vegetables. Any vegetable is okay except for tubers such as potatoes and sweet potatoes. If you want sweet potatoes, you can have sweet potatoes instead of the lentils or rice or millets, right? And again, pay attention to the amount of oil you use, 5 to 10 grams, right? 1 to 2 teaspoons. And that's about 1600 calories. So that's the non-vegetarian option. Of course, if you feel you need more food, you can up this by 100 to 100 grams, right? 100 to 100 calories. So the goal is to make it your own, right? Now let's move on to the sample vegan and vegetarian menu. So for breakfast, if you're vegan, you can do a protein shake, a vegan protein shake. And I would recommend going for a protein shake that's rather clean, that's plant-based, that doesn't have too many chemicals or additives or colors, something clean, right? If you are not vegan and you don't want to have the protein shake, you can have Greek yogurt here, 150 grams or so. Along with this, you can have a piece of fruit, chopped strawberries, 100 grams, an apple, an orange, something like that. Along with this, you can take 30 grams of oatmeal made in water and no sugar, right? Avoid the flavored oatmeals that you get in the market. Go for the plain one. And if need be, you can add some chopped strawberries, you can add some sweetener. So that's one way of going about it. As a snack at 11 a.m., you can do a handful of nuts, right? Almonds, cashews, walnuts, whatever you prefer, 20 to 30 grams. And that's about a handful. Along with this, you can do a cup of regular tea, green tea, black coffee, whatever it is you prefer. I would recommend going easy on the milk, 1 to 2 teaspoons in your coffee or tea if you need it. You can add a sweetener if you need it. It's best to avoid the sugar. For lunch, instead of the chicken, what you can have is maybe tofu, 200 grams, right? If you are vegan. If you're not vegan, you can have Indian cottage cheese, paneer, right? But paneer 100 grams because it's protein, but it's also fat. Along with this, you can have about 30 grams of brown rice or lentils or millets or quinoa, a grain basically. Best to avoid things like white rice and white bread, all that stuff. And along with this, you can have a vegetable. Any vegetable is okay except for potatoes and sweet potatoes. If you want sweet potatoes, then you can replace it with the millets. So don't have the brown rice or the millets that day. Have the sweet potato, the tofu, and the veggies, right? To cook all this, it's best to use about 5 to 10 grams of oil, right? Olive oil or ghee. Ghee is clarified butter, and go with that. As a snack in the evening, you can again go for a protein shake with 1 piece of fruit, 1 apple, 1 orange, 100 grams of strawberries, something like that. Or if you don't want the protein shake at this point, you can do 100 to 150 grams of Greek yogurt with a piece of fruit. Along with this, you can have your coffee, you can have your black tea, you can have your green tea. Again, if you want milk, 1 to 2 teaspoons, and no sugar. Or if you need the sweetener, then you can add the sweetener at times. For dinner, it's the same template as the lunch, right? A protein, a carb, and a veggie. So for dinner, one option could be the Indian cottage cheese if you're vegetarian, right? And 100 grams along with a vegetable. Any vegetable is okay except for sweet potatoes and potato. And a carb. A carb could be 30 grams of lentils, 30 grams of beans, 30 grams of brown rice, quinoa, millets, whatever it is you prefer, right? So that's the dinner. Now, if you are vegan, you can go for other vegan sources of protein like tempeh or seitan or anything else that you prefer, right? But it's important to get the protein in along with the carbs and the veggies. So that's dinner. And again, 1 to 2 teaspoons of cooking oil, which could be olive oil or ghee, clarified butter. So that's the vegan vegetarian sample plan. Now this is about 1600 calories as well. Feel free to make this plan your own, make it suitable to yourself. Like I said at the beginning of the video, this is just a template, right? This is just a sample, and the reason I've put out this video is because it's been something that's been very requested, and that's why I wanted to share it. So I hope there was something useful here, and if there are any topics that you want me to make videos on, or you want me to talk about, or if there are any recipes that you'd like to see, then please feel free to let me know in the comments section below, and I will try my best to make that happen. So I hope this was useful, and now I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.